Hello, and welcome back to Spectrum Talk with Ruby, where we celebrate people making waves and creating change. As always, I'm honored to share exclusive insights and conversations celebrating culture, creativity, and the voices that move us all. In this episode, I'm so excited to share a conversation that I had with a man who is a legend in every sense of the word, Mr. Robert Cray. Robert Cray is a 5-time Grammy Award winner, a Blues Hall of Fame inductee, and one of the most influential voices in modern soul and blues. His music has spanned generations, touching hearts, telling truths, and bringing us together with soulful sounds highlighting shared life experiences. If you're in Colorado, you're in for a special treat because Robert Cray is headed to the Arvada Center as part of their summer concert series on August 6th. It's going to be an unforgettable evening of music under the stars with one of the greats. So stay tuned because we're talking about the spirit of the blues with a household name and an artistic legend. Well, how is tour life treating you?
It's good. We just finished a trip to the UK and Europe a week ago. So I'm just still trying to get back on West Coast time.
That sounds great. Do you enjoy touring like that extensively? Because you have dates back to back to back. You have a lot of dates coming up.
Yeah, we do have a lot of dates coming up. I enjoy the touring. Yeah, always have. Yeah.
Good. Well, we are very excited to see you here in Arvada, and all of Denver, I'm sure, will be clawing for tickets to come out and see you as you are a blues legend. Have you been to Denver before?
Oh, yeah. Been to Denver over the years a lot. Yeah.
Well, we're looking forward to it for sure. When I was doing my research and kind of learning about your early life, I was intrigued that you were born in Georgia. You spent some time in Virginia, and then you went all the way to the other side of the country and grew up in Washington, spent time in Oregon. I would love to know what that experience was like for you and how your musical inspiration was affected.
Here's the lowdown. My father was in the Army, and I was born in Columbus, Georgia, as you know. And I was there for 11 months after I was born. Being in the Army, my dad was transferred to Washington State. So when we left Georgia, we went there in mid-50s. And we were in Washington State for maybe about 2.5 years. Then we moved down to California for about the same amount of time. And then he got orders for Germany. And so we took off for Germany.
Wow.
And then orders back to Washington State after Germany. So for another 2.5 years in Washington State after Germany, we went to Virginia then for about the same amount of time. It was always that amount of time in all those places. And then back to Washington State again. And by that time, I'd graduated from high school. And Richard Cousins, who's our current bass player, and I had met through mutual friends in rival high schools within the same school district, and we started a band. But Richard and I moved down to Eugene, Oregon, a college town, and started the Robert Cray Band in 1974. And so from there is where we are now, continuing to travel. Wow. So that's how that whole story goes. So for me, I didn't spend much time in Georgia in the South, but learned a lot from listening to records when I was younger through my parents when we lived in Germany, buying records on bass and listening to music my parents had, people like Sam Cooke, B.B. King, Sarah Vaughan, gospel and all kinds of stuff like that, until when we moved from Germany back to Washington State. So when the Beatles came out and I got a guitar and played guitar, listening to everything on the radio. And then at high school, right before I left with Richard to go down to Eugene, Oregon, a couple years prior to that, got into the blues. So when we left Washington to move down to Eugene, Richard and I, we had the intentions of starting a blues band. And so that's what we did.
That's really cool. So you grew up listening to some of the artists that you got to collaborate with?
Yeah, it really did. That was cool. And I think about it, and Richard and I were talking about it on this last leg, reminiscing, when we're listening to records and, John Lee Hooker would come on and, we'd go, man, what a great honor, to have had the opportunity, or others that we've had the opportunity to work with. Yeah.
And with moving around so much, I bet it feels like home being on the road. Do you have any goals to slow down, or do you just want to keep touring? And is that just where your heart is?
Well, it's where our heart is. I mean, we slow down a little bit. We're not going to stop, but as long as we've been around now, you get to pick and choose your schedule better than you were able to in the younger days. So, we'll go out for a certain amount of weeks and then come home for a certain amount of time and then go back out. So it's not like it's a constant. People are older. We need time home with our families and, time for your sanity as well. So, yeah.
Of course. Where is home? Where is your home base?
I'm in Santa Barbara County in California.
Nice. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when it comes to the blues, one of the things that fascinates me is the lyrical content. When I listen to the songs, it feels like heartbreak, but a heartbreak that can make you move. And so it's kind of this dichotomy where not all of the songs are sad, but what is being said in the songs is a really heavy background. Where do you get your inspiration for the songs that you've written, and what are your favorite songs to play?
My favorite songs to play are the sad songs. I like to sing those emotional tunes, whether or not it has anything to do with me. It's just that I love the genre of music, so much. And so some of those songs aren't really me. It's the music that I enjoy listening to. And so I will play those songs. But there are some songs that I've written in the past that have, been honest, and like you mentioned, not all the songs are sad. So there's some upbeat things you can dance to. And, it's that kind of thing. I'm in love with the music.
Yeah, that was going to be one of my questions, is whether your songs are based on true stories. And I guess they would really have to be. I mean, they're very emotionally driven sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like there are some songs that I've written that are about me. But then again, it's like I can sing other people's songs as well.
Yeah.
Their stories.
Do you have a favorite song, or do you just love them all equally?
I don't know that I have a favorite. I enjoy them all. Yeah.
Okay. Well, what should audiences expect when you come to Arvada on August 6th with this tour?
Well, we have this thing where we don't like to play the same set list every night. So right after sound check, Richard and I get together and we go through the master list and we create something that's, well, there'll be a few that are favorites that people want to hear, but we'll change it up. So on 2 nights in a row, you're not going to hear the exact same set list. So it's going to be a little bit of everything. Some ballads, some danceable things, and something that people will recognize of ours,
Yeah, I love that. That's actually very special. Sometimes I go to shows and you can tell they're doing the same set list every night and they're getting tired from it. And I love that because I think it helps you engage with the audience better to switch it up.
I agree with you 100%. I don't think there's anything, there's nothing special about doing the same set list every night in my book.
Yeah.
You're not working.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because when you're switching it up, you're basing it on the mood, your vibe.
You need to be right in the moment.
Yeah. I love that. Well, outside of music, what do you do in your free time when you do get those breaks at home? Or are you just writing more music when you're at home?
Oh, no, I get away from it a little bit. I like to be home. I like to be outside and doing things in the garden, and I like to cook. And I'm also a parent, so we do that. Yeah. I go to the grocery store,
Yeah. Do you get people who recognize you at the grocery store?
Oh, yeah. But it's fine.
Yeah.
Oh, you're home.
Well, you're in California. I feel like that's a pretty good place to spot celebrities and all the legends.
No, and I see them too.
Yeah, I bet. Well, I really appreciate you taking the time to speak with me. I really can't wait to see you on August 6th, and I can't wait to share this with the audiences in and around Denver. I know that you have a ton of fans here, a lot of blues lovers for sure. So I hope that the rest of your tour up until then is wonderful. And I can't wait to see you then.
Thank you so much, Ruby. Appreciate you having me on your program. Thanks.
Of course. Thank you. Thank you for listening to this episode of Spectrum Talk with Ruby. To see the Robert Cray Band live in action at the Arvada Center on August 6th, visit arvadacenter.org. But hurry, because tickets are selling fast.